properties are kind of rules that makes our job much easier when we do math. So these are the properties we learned, like a PEMDAS, the order of operations. Commutative property means commutative means like a switching orders. Associative means grouping numbers based on their types, or to do math like faster way. So, and the last one is additive identity or inverse property. So we're going to talk about these today. Okay, and there is a one IXL practice today. It's a H11 about rational numbers. Okay, and there is an exit ticket at the end of the class. So today's objective is I can use properties of operations to add and subtract rational numbers without using a calculator. So properties of operations, using properties of operations without using calculator. And the second one is commutative and associative properties, like switching order and grouping numbers when we rewrite numerical expressions. And the last one is the opposite of sum is the sum of the opposites. So there is one more thing, and we already know this. I'm just going to go over this, the last one too. Okay, so this is the objective for today, and let's start I do part. So properties. So are the ways to do math easier and faster way when we have like a math problem or math numbers, like operations on math in numbers. So the first one is which operation has to be done when we have a problem like an addend and the last question. So when you have a lot of plus and minuses or other operations, so which one has to be done first? Or the other question is, what is the PEMDAS stands for? Okay, so it's basically like this is the order of operations. Like when you have a math, you always check to like a P to S, like PEMDAS P to S. So first, if you have a parentheses, first you need to take care of parentheses. If you have an exponent, then second is you need to take care of exponent after the parentheses. And then multiplication, division, and last is addition and subtraction. Okay, sometimes you're not going to see all these in the math problems. Like sometimes you just have a parentheses and addition, so you can skip if these are not appear in the problem. Okay, this is a review from grade 6 and 5. And the next one is, this is an example. So we have parentheses, we have a multiplication and addition and subtraction. So the first thing we need to take care of what we have inside of parentheses. That comes first. Then there is a no exponent. We're going to skip that. And we have a multiplication. Then you're going to take care of multiplication. And the last thing is you need to take care of addition and subtraction. So addition and subtraction. Okay. So these are the review from order of operation. And the next one is commutative property. Like basically, it's just a switching the order. Okay. And switching order doesn't change the result. There is a one tiny detail about commutative property. So not every operation has a commutative property. What I mean is only addition, multiplication has a commutative property. That means you can switch the order when you add two numbers or more than two numbers. You're going to end up the same result. Or you can switch the order when you multiply two numbers or more than two numbers. So you're going to end up the same result. So only addition and multiplication has commutative property, not others. Okay, so this is the very important detail about this property. And the next one is the associative property, means like rearranging the parentheses or regrouping. You can also remember as a regrouping, and an expression that won't change the result. Okay, the result will be the same if you rearrange the parentheses or groups. And the same thing. Associative property only has addition and multiplication has, okay? So not division and subtraction, only addition and multiplication, Don't include the others because others doesn't have these properties. And an example is, for example, 3 plus 4 plus 5, it's the same thing like 3 plus and 4 plus 5. So you can rearrange the parentheses or regroup, like first it grouped like 3 and 4, and the second side it grouped like 4 and 5. So you're going to end up the same result. Okay, and multiplication is the same thing. It doesn't matter, like first you multiply 3 and 4, then multiply 5, you'll get the same result with if you multiply 4 and 5 first and then multiply 3. Okay, so this is about associative property, like rearranging parentheses or regrouping numbers. And that's the properties that we need to know about in math. Basically, it tells us how to do math in a correct way, in a like appropriate way, and it makes us our job much easier sometimes. I'll show you examples. So practice more with fractions. So let's practice these questions now. We have 2/5 plus 3/1/4. So there is two ways you can do. Like these are rational numbers, by the way, from yesterday. Rational numbers are the fractions, the whole numbers, integers, everything we call them rational, right? So you can use in two ways. The one way is using a calculator. It's the fastest and easiest way, because we're not anymore like doing for fractions, like finding a denominator and adding up numerator stuff, because we need to learn now calculator how to add these kind of numbers, okay? And to do that, there is two options again. The one is you can use your own calculator. If you don't remember how to type these numbers, let me know. But this time I'm going to use my own Desmos calculator, okay? So let me open up my Desmos, the fraction line. So the result would be 0.85, okay? So this is how you do, like just typing the number in the box and you'll end up the result. So you can use your calculator. At this time, I'm showing this calculator as a sample, because we were doing the other calculators yesterday, okay? So I'm just gonna copy and we'll go a little bit faster. So -6.5, and the next one is copy. So let's hit the enter. You can see the results at the same time. And 30 plus 1/8. Oh, it didn't find it. So you have to type it like manually. Here we go. And so the next one is, the last one is 17. And so this is the review from yesterday. Yesterday we talked about the fractions. And by the way, this number goes like 111 goes forever. But if you want to see it as a fraction form, you just need to click this icon and it'll tell you the fraction form of that result, okay? Okay, if you did this, that's awesome. And we're going to move on. We're not this practice. The purpose of this practice, it's not about the only review. So we're going to move on in a little bit different one in the next one. So now let's apply the properties that we reviewed on the first slide in these problems. So in this problem, as you see, if you type all these numbers on the calculator, sometimes if you know those properties, you don't have to type all these numbers on the calculator. So there is an easy thing. Look at this. You're actually subtracting the same number like one another, which means they become 0, right? Only left -10. So your result is -10. Actually, you don't have to do a calculation this time if you know the properties. So if you subtract the one number from another, you're going to end up the same result, okay? And next thing, so look at this. If you do the subtraction, you're going to get a result again. But if you know the properties, look at this. So this number and this number is opposite of one another, right? By using a commutative property, you can switch these two numbers. And if you switch it, if they come together, actually, like these are cancel out each other, because one is opposite of another one, okay? They become 0. And let me cross out these two, because if you subtract the same number, it will be the same. So the last thing is, if you remember this rule, like 2 negative meets together becomes positive, so your result will be just 3.1. Okay, so this is about knowing the rules. This is about knowing properties. So it makes our job much easier when we do math. Okay. Okay, I will show you how to do it on a calculator. Okay, can you guys see the calculator?
Yeah. They changed the
name. -22 over 4 over 15. Okay, here we go. 57 whole 11 over 15. Okay. So next one, let's try the next one. The next question was 10 plus. So 10 plus negative. So when you type like a 3/8, so first try to type the fraction section. So this is the fraction button. So you need to click the fraction, and 3, you need to go bottom, and 8, and you need to go front of the this fraction sign. Okay, so it's a 3. So 338. So when you hit the enter, and you're gonna see it's a 6.625. Okay. And next slide. So what do you think about this one? Now it's a little bit longer. Like you have an integer number, decimal number, and fraction number. So 1091. Let's check it. Let's see. Oh, I need to retype this. Oh, just click the space bar. I think you can then type the fraction part. It's a 3/8, right? Yep. So you have, by the way, it's not a 10 point something, or you were doing on the second question. So this one is for you. 5/6. So it's going to be like 3 repeating number, but I don't need the decimal form for this one. If you go with the this way, it's a 121/12. Okay, 121/12. And last one, there is a one word problem. So this is why we're learning this kind of numbers and operations and rules, everything. Okay, so in this problem, Mr. Henderson didn't realize his checking account had a balance of $200. Means like had means like there is a money, so which is positive 200. Okay, and when he used means like it's a subtraction. When he used his debit card for 317.25, 317.25 purchase. So as you see, like he spent it more money than he has. What is his checking account balance after the purchase? So because if you're subtracting bigger number from smaller number, it has to be negative. And I think somebody got the answer. Oh, you answered that one first? Okay. So if you use a calculator, it's going to be 117. No, not 17. No, yeah, it is a 70, 117.25. So the meaning of this negative number is he spent it 117.25 more dollars. Actually, he owes now to bank this amount of money. Okay, he spent it a lot. Her trying. Okay. So it's H11. So those are the practices for rationals, adding and subtracting. Once you finish, please go on the Google Classroom and turn in, because this is the assignment that you will receive a grade. Okay, and the score is try to get as close as 70. And the last thing, before you go, there is an exit ticket. So if you click this, you can see the exit ticket. Let's go back. Like this is the review for today's lesson. Like use the properties of operations to add and subtract rational numbers more efficiently when we know this. So for example, like -5.5 plus 3.7 plus 5.1/2. So there is a two numbers like very similar with opposite sign. So you can switch the order by using commutative property because addition has it, and you can cancel these two numbers and just result will be the whatever is left. It's a 3.7. Okay. And the opposite of a sum is a sum of its opposites. So we didn't really practice this, but on the next lessons, when we have a lot of math problems, I'll show more about this one. So it's meaning like if you see a negative sign in front of the parentheses, actually that negative sign belongs every single number inside of parentheses. Actually, this is about distribution, but because of we didn't practice multiplication, I didn't want to introduce this more. but we will practice this more, okay? If you see a negative sign in front of the parentheses, that negative sign belongs every single number inside of parentheses, like distributing negative sign this time, not number, okay? So this is the last thing, and we'll talk about that later. And there is an exit ticket. If you go on exit ticket, there are one question actually. The one thing is like what you learned today and rate your participation. And there is a one simple problem about adding and subtracting rationals. Okay. Thank you so much. If you guys finish these, feel free to leave or you can stay. But make sure you finish up the IXL. Okay. Thank you.